I'd say the biggest reward in starting and running a farm is getting yourself up and running from something that was nothing to waking up in the morning and looking out and seeing what you've accomplished.
To plant something, nurture it, and then see the reaction of people who consume the fruits of your labor. There are few things that I can think of that are more rewarding than that kind of validation.
As a community, I think it's really important to connect with the people who grow your food. And to do that with a veteran, you're connecting, I think, even deeper.
People in the military just naturally have that service personality, or it's kind of hardwired onto them.
We're so ingrained with a sense of purpose and a drive. That energy has to go somewhere.
I served 4 years in the Marine Corps, 2 tours overseas.
Army National Guard for a little over 30 years.
So I served in the Navy for 8 years aboard nuclear submarines.
I was in the Connecticut Army National Guard. I was a paralegal specialist.
So I was in the Marine Corps, served in support of Operation Enduring Freedom.
I served in the Marine Reserves, and I was deployed to the Persian Gulf for the Gulf War.
22 years of service in the Coast Guard.
I was an Army chemical officer, and I ran the TOC, the Tactical Operations Center.
5 years in the Marine Corps, 3 years in the Air National Guard.
Served for 9 years in the Air Force, and I started off as an ensign and retired as a commander.
I didn't really have an outlet, I guess, for the things that I had learned in the Marine Corps. I never really thought I'd ever use those things again.
When I got out of the Marine Corps, I had zero ag experience. I grew up in a city, actually. I was a city boy.
I was in the Connecticut Army National Guard. I was a paralegal specialist. And if you told me then that I was going to be on a tractor, I would have laughed at you.
I got bored one day because I was literally roll out of bed, to the computer, back to bed all day long. And so I texted my wife, hey, do you want to buy a vineyard? I started down the path and she came with me and we worked together to make it happen.
This is my business, and I'm proud of it. And I'm proud to produce a good product. No one trained me. I had to learn on my own.
Nobody was a farmer when they got out of the military. Everybody turned into one. And it's a matter of how much work ethic you want to put forward.
You have to be okay with hard work and long hours that you're not getting compensated for. I walk in my front door, I'm at work. And then I'm there until I walk back in the house, and then sometimes still there at work. The level of capital investment required to get in to start a lot of times can be very daunting and very difficult. There's not a lot of profit margin in there, and one bad season can shut you down.
The challenges of being a new farmer are myriad, including access to land.
In New England in particular, it's hard to farm full-time, and just because of the cost of living here as well as production size is a smaller scale.
We had 2 mortgages at the time when we closed on this place, and I'm working part-time as a police officer as well.
We need more farmers, period. It's what our society needs. It's what our environment needs. So we're here to do that.
We began working with the Small Business Administration for our current project, the Connecticut Veteran Grown Initiative. This initiative has 2 main points. One is the Farmer Resource Hub, which is an online and in-person resource hub. This is primarily through our ctveterangrown.org website. On that website, we have webinars for business development, marketing. Another resource available is a searchable map of farmer veterans in Connecticut. This is a great resource not only for the farmer veterans to be able to promote their business, but also for anyone out there who's interested in purchasing produce and other goods from farmers in Connecticut.
Connecticut consumers who are paying attention to where they're buying their groceries or their flowers or their meats or any other of our farm products are a different type of consumer. They're really interested in supporting their community.
As a farmer, if you can provide food that people can put on their plate and the people eating the food know, hey, wait a second, I know Sarah or John who grew this food. I know it's going to be good. And I think there's a sense of community and connection that you make. Know the people who grow your food.
I love to take a product that we raised and feed my family. I love that my children are not getting grocery store meats that I have no idea what kind of antibiotics, things that potentially could be in them. That scares me. I want to know from start to finish what this animal was raised on.
The most rewarding part of doing this is making a healthy apple or pear or fruit or vegetable and children are eating it. This is making people healthier. And I want the kids to enjoy that apple at school and not have an apple that's been in storage for a year and tastes off.
So a lot of people think about, well, I go to this pumpkin patch, or I go to this apple orchard, or I stop at this farm stand on my way home. And all of that is important. And at the department, we look at it at the aggregate level. So that's 5,000 farms. That's 370,000 acres, 22,000 people working on those farms and generating $4 billion to the state's economy.
There is a deep cultural heritage of agriculture in Connecticut, whether it be vegetables, whether it be cheese, whether it be dairy, whether it be meat. We're talking about growing food. We're talking about small businesses, creating jobs. The SBA wants them to know that we don't want them to go it alone. We are here to aid and assist all small businesses in the United States, and that especially includes our veteran farmers.
If you are a veteran farmer, a veteran in general, and you've started your farming journey and you haven't taken advantage of those, there's so much opportunity and finances and money on the table that you're missing out. So we've been able to completely set up our irrigation system with that. We've built 3 high tunnels. We've been able to replace some equipment. So there's a lot of legwork that you have to do for it, but there's a lot of people out there willing to help you.
We have a wide variety of products and services that can help a farmer, whether they're trying to buy a new tractor or they're trying to buy a building.
We prioritize veterans in our grant programs. So we want to make sure that those people who have served our nation are first in line when it comes to receiving our grant dollars and the support that the agency can lend.
They come with direct skill sets that make them excellent entrepreneurs, and that's what our farmers are. They're innovators, they're small businesses.
And when I'm walking through the grow rooms and I find a certain mushroom, and I say, you know what, Lisa's gonna love this one. Or Paul is he asks for these large ones all the time, I'll make sure we set that one aside for him. That, to me, that's, I guess, a view of success. I know the people in the community, and I know the food that we're growing, and I know which ones they want. I don't think you can get a better sense of community than that. Someone who's made a choice to serve their country, they make a choice to get into farming for a reason. And sure, there's economics around it, but I don't think people get into farming for money.
What veterans and farmers have in common is a humanitarian service, and we're in service to the community.
The military has played an enormous role in everything collectively to farming. Aside from getting up at 5 a.m., it'd be the discipline and the ability to transition quickly from task to task.
It's kind of ingrained to us in the military. We've got to adapt and overcome. And when it comes to farming, Mother Nature will throw everything at you every which way, and you just have to adapt and overcome with it.
You have something that you've planted and have spent so much time nurturing, and then overnight some pests eat it and it's gone.
The biggest thing you can learn in the military to go towards agriculture is resiliency. No season is the same, no project is the same. Something might have worked one year and the next year you do the same thing and it completely flops and you have to retry it.
I'm going to do what I did in the Air Force and what I did in the Navy. everything comes together. My environmental career field, my military career field for fixing equipment, about safety, about training people. It's all coming together with this farm.
You know, the skills that you get in the military transfer over to farming in every single way, and the scars that you take from the military can actually be healed a lot through farming.
It's just an outlet for anything that you think is bad in your head is nothing until you go out there and see the animals and have the ability to give them their feed for the day and know that you're caring for them and that they need you as much as you need them.
The farm gives him time to decompress. And some days that means he's going to be sitting on a tractor going round and round in a field raking hay. He had gotten out of the military, which is a very high stress job. And there's a lot of what they would call compassion fatigue from that sort of thing. And so with the farm, I've seen a transition in him over the years of how therapeutic it has been for him as a veteran and as a fireman, where he can walk away from his job at the end of the day, work with his hands. It's been very healthy for both of us.
I have all these experiences and all these feelings that most of the people I know don't have. And I was at a point where I realized I really need to be part of people who can fill in the blanks and we understand each other.
So we brought Farmer Veteran Coalition to Connecticut, a local chapter here in Connecticut, just as another way of bringing together veterans throughout the state so we can build that camaraderie and support system that we've been used to.
Once we joined the Veteran Farmer Coalition, it kind of was that final piece that makes you think like you are part of something. You know there's a group of people that are going to have your back no matter what. If you need someone to go to bat for you, they're going to. And we're going to just be there to support each other no matter what we need, whether it's during a disaster, during an event, you need promotion for something, we're all going to be there for each other.
Predecessors had VFWs, that's sort of shifted. This is sort of like our VFW, and we're serving a major purpose.
We learned from the military that strength comes from a team, and putting together that team that really tackles each part of the farm can really alleviate a lot of those challenges. We do the same thing here. We run 2 strands of electrical, and I put 5,000 volts down.
To get started with farming, one of the biggest things is just find what you like, whether it be mushrooms, wine, beef, cattle, cheese. It all is complicated, and you got to figure out what you like first.
Do your market research, and once you figure out what you might want to do is just network. Talk to as many farmers as possible. Try to learn from others' mistakes.
One is don't give up and follow that dream. And it's risky and it's scary, but the rewards are huge.
Don't be shy about telling people you're a veteran, because the more people you tell, the more resources that come out, the more people that are willing to support you, and those things are invaluable when it comes to this.
Connecticut Resource Conservation and Development's goals over the next couple of years with this program are to make the veteran-grown brand visible to people in Connecticut.
By elevating that brand, by promoting it, by the Homegrown by Heroes tag, I think we can make it easier for other veterans to support veteran farmers, for families to support veterans. If you're selling at markets, connect with us, Rebecca Eddy at the Department of Agriculture. We have the Homegrown by Heroes Connecticut Grown logo. We can put that on your label. We can give you stickers. We can give you the pins. We can work with the Farmer Veteran Coalition to make sure you're on the website and the directory. And we can make sure that you're tied into the rest of that system, because we want to make sure that people know where to find those farms.
Right now, we have about 30 on the website, and we continue to have more added every day.
Yeah, so I think why should someone buy a CT Veteran Grown? I think because the veterans have invested so much in their communities. And it's not just their time and energy, but it's also sacrifices that their families went through.
All these farmers, they gave, maybe a few years, maybe their entire adult career. In my case, my daughters, they were 17 and 14 before I was home for half of their life.
We love when people say thank you for your service. But when you buy products from a veteran farmer, you're supporting them financially.
Knowing that that product came from someone that previously served you, and now you're helping grow their business forward.
It just brings that extra value and quality to let our customers know that it was grown here in Connecticut by a veteran farmer.
These men and women have served this country, and here they are still serving this country. And their transition back into the regular civilian life is important.
You're not just supporting a farmer, you're supporting someone whose whole life has been about dedication and service to their community and their friends and family around them.